Within this show, I will be talking you through step by step how to do a 12-week body transformation. If your goal is to get a flat stomach, feel toned and the best shape you've ever been in, keep watching this show. I have been transforming the lives of hundreds of individuals over the past 12 years, along with my own personal goals in body recomposition. I have lost body fat on many occasions and worked towards photo shoots, built muscle and strength, and overall just improved my health significantly. I would not have been able to do that without certain strategies around diet and exercise. If I didn't have those, I would not have been able to get to the shape and physique that I have worked towards over the past 12 years. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, so I can continue providing you guys with great content. The first step to a successful body transformation in only 12 weeks is to be completely crystal clear about what you are looking to achieve. If you are wanting to lose 10 kilos of fat, you have to be very specific about that and understand that it will take hard work, of course, but it can be rewarding. But you have to, right at the beginning of the plan, be super focused on what you are looking to achieve and be willing to give it your all throughout the whole 12 weeks. Because, yes, 12 weeks can be long, but it is not that long in reality. It's only 12 weeks, but it can appear long to some people if they have been giving in their all every day, sacrificing foods, exercise, improving their dietary intake, behavior towards food, eating out less, traveling less. It can be a long period of time, but to some people it may not appear that long. So it's important to have the right attitude right at the beginning. Mindset plays a key role in powering you forward every day, helping you make the right decisions towards what's right and what's wrong, what's going to allow you to move forwards or keep you where you are. So it's really important to get dialed into the right mindset. So you may speak to friends and family about where you want to get to. It may have been on your mind for a while. You may have spoken to a friend that has been also working towards a similar goal to you and maybe has the same issues and problems that you may have, that they want to lose fat also. So you may have that social network that are willing to support you. So it's really important to get crystal clear with your friends and family right at the beginning. When I first started my body transformation, I was in Australia and I was just speaking to my friends about it and saying I want to get as lean as I physically can. And my friends at the time sort of laughed it off because I was partying, I was going out more, but I was super focused and I really wanted it. But I let them know that in 12 weeks, I want to see significant changes. So I let them know and I eventually had their support and backing. So it's really important to get the right support and people around you that can motivate you right from the beginning and support what you're going to do. The next step in your body transformation is to just look at your training plan and analyze it from where it is right now. Are you training enough? Is your intensity of your workouts high enough? Do you have a combination of various training methods such as weightlifting, sprints, different type of high intensity exercises to help you with fat loss and muscle growth and just overall fitness as you're powering yourself through your transformation? So it's really important that if you're just doing jogging or basic cardio movements, cycling, and you're not really doing intense training, it's really important to analyze your training plan and work in more intense exercises and workouts to help you motivate yourself every time you get to the gym and push yourself hard. So I would recommend to make sure that your workouts are compound training and compound workouts, which have all compound in nature. So deadlifts, squats, bench press, pull-ups, rows, dips, all your compound exercises will help you build strength and maintain muscle mass, and even build muscle as you're losing fat in your transformation, which I know that's your primary goal, but you also want to maintain as much muscle tissue as you physically can. So compound training is one of the best styles of training to maintain strength and physical output as you're going through your body transformation. So it's really important that you have at least 3 workouts a week that are intense, that are full body and can work all of your muscle groups simultaneously. Alongside that, you're going to have some cardio, at least morning cardio and maybe evening cardio, depending on how much fat you want to lose. But let's say if you want to lose 10 kilos, you may do morning cardio, steps, and then you may do some evening cardio, some light running, jogging, cycling, to get as much physical cardio in as you possibly can. Because one hand you have the compound training, which I just mentioned, it helps you with strength, etc., and muscle gain, but on the other hand you want the cardiovascular training, which is going to help you burn as much fat as you physically can. A step goal can work really well. 10k per day I'd recommend during your body transformation as a bare minimum, and just count your steps and just ensure that you are sticking to that step goal. It's really important, particularly if your job is sedentary. It's important to have a step goal to push yourself forwards. So you've got your training plan now dialed in. You're doing compound training 3 days a week, and you're doing some morning and evening cardio in light and steady state cardio, jogging, etc., which I mentioned. And just one thing to note as well, your cardio needs to be around zone 2 cardio, which is more steady state. Now, zone 2 cardio is not very light cardio, but it's not intense cardio either. It's just in the middle. And this is going to allow you to stay within a certain heart rate variation. So your heart rate is, let's say, 120, 130 during zone 2. What this is going to do is going to crank up fat loss, because we can stay at zone 2 cardio for way longer than if we're at zone 3 or zone 4 cardio. And it's going to be more realistic for you to do that every day, or at least 4 times a week. Now, zone 2 cardio can be worked in, like I said, in the morning. You can do it in the evening, and you can do it more frequently than intense cardio. But I would recommend to have some intense cardio also, because intense cardio can push you even harder and help the body to work even harder during its cardio, because the body does get used to zone 2 cardio. So if all you're doing is jogging and light zone 2 cardio as your main cardio method, you may eventually start to plateau, and the fat loss that you saw in the beginning of your body transformation is now slowing down. So it's really important to have some high intensity cardio also. So try some sprints, try some circuit based working out with kettlebells and barbells, and even CrossFit style training can be a great way to really maximize your time, your energy and your efforts, and push your body hard to burn fat, particularly as you're getting towards the middle and the end of your body transformation. Your metabolic rate, your metabolism slows down, and the body then starts to reserve fat instead of burning it off. So anything that we can do to push your body hard and keep it getting pushed will be very important and invaluable for getting you where you want to be, and in the fat loss and the flat stomach that you're looking for at the end of this body transformation. Now, that's pretty much it for the training side of things. I wouldn't probably look at anything else. You've got your training now plan sorted. You know what needs to be done. And if you need to hire a coach as well, feel free to do that. You can hire a coach. They can plan your training sessions, your workouts. I mean, that's what I personally do with individuals. I plan their training plan. I'm a personal trainer and nutritionist. So for many years now, I've planned someone's training, helped them online, plan the best workout plan for them, depending on their level, beginner or intermediate or advanced. I'm able to look at their situation and understand them as an individual and plan their training plan. So you may hire a coach to help you through a 12-week body transformation, but it's just an idea anyway and a thought. Anyhow, let's get into the next part, and that is the dietary side of things. Now, this can be very important to get right. because I've seen many people before, including myself, trying to outrun a bad diet just by training harder for longer and not really putting that amount of effort into what they're eating and their behavior around food, not willing to put themselves into a position where they're working hard in the diet side of things, cutting back on food that they like and enjoy, alcohol, certain foods that they may be eating often, eating out with friends, stuff like that. They may not be willing to sacrifice those behaviors, and I can tell you now that that is very important to do. You have to work very hard on the diet side of things. When the diet is on point, you will see the best possible results, particularly in fat loss. All right, and that's when you'll start to see your stomach starting to get flatter, your love handle starting to disappear, and you start to see the rippling abs starting to bulge when you are putting the effort into the diet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a few methods to start to understand how to implement into your daily routine. Some basic stuff, and I'll give you some more advanced stuff as well as we get further into the show. Now, as a basic method, we need to get ourselves into a calorie deficit. That is the quickest way to start losing fat, is eating less calories than your body needs. So in theory, let's say for your height and weight and age, your maintenance calories is 3,000 per day. And let's say you've been eating that over the past 6 months and you've just been maintaining your weight, building muscle and just feeling good. But you want to obviously get into a deficit. So we need to disturb that 3,000 calories a day. And now we're just going to go less than that. The optimal is about 500 calories less than your maintenance. So you'd work out your maintenance calories. I'll put a few calculators into the show notes where you can work out your maintenance. You can also just go and download MyFitnessPal, and that will tell you what your general maintenance is once you've put in your numbers. So you can possibly do that as well. It may not be as specific, but again, you can just play around with the numbers over a couple of days. Check your weight. If you're losing weight, then you may be in a deficit. If you're not, then you just adjust your numbers. So okay, you've got your 3,000, you've gone into a deficit now, 500 calories, so you're now eating about 2,500 calories, and you're now tracking that on, let's say, NutriCheck on MyFitnessPal. Now that will give you the ability to start losing fat by eating less food. If we're eating less food, we're most likely pushing the body to lose fat and burn fat, love handles, belly fat, etc. It will burn fat. If we're not in a deficit, then it doesn't matter how healthy you eat, you won't be burning fat anywhere, because healthy eating doesn't transpire to a calorie deficit. The amount of time people have told me, I'm eating healthy, I don't know what's going on, I can't lose fat, but I'm eating very healthy. But then I look at what they're eating, the amount, the foods. It's healthy, I'll give them that, but it's not in, but they're not in a calorie deficit. They're eating healthy, yes, good, perfect. But what they're eating is healthy foods, avocado, olive oil, cheese, healthy foods, yes, but the foods that they're eating is too many calories. So on the long and short of it, you have to be in a calorie deficit. So that's the first instance, get yourself into calorie deficit. So it's been 3 weeks now and you've been losing fat, but it's starting to slow down. So you can throw in a few advanced methods. So right at the beginning of your plan, you may have been consuming, let's say 40% of your daily intake from carbs, which is about normal and where you sort of want to be, because you need carbs to help you with your training, intensity and recovery, etc. So you start at about 40% and you do that for about 3 weeks and you lose some fat, but then it's starting to slow down. So then you can throw in what's called carb cycling, which is basically on workout days, you would eat 40% carbs as normal, and on non-workout days, so your rest days, just pull your carbs back. So pull your energy back to 30% or 25 or 20%. You can go very aggressive if you want. Now what you're going to do with the carbs that you've got, the percentage of carbs you've got left over, is then eat more protein. All right, because protein is going to keep you, number one, fuller for longer. It's probably the best macronutrient for satiety. So eating slightly more protein, let's say you're now eating 50% protein and 25-30% carbs of the day on your rest days, this may keep you fuller for longer and drive you further into a calorie deficit. Because if you're eating carbs every day at 40%, even though you may feel like you're in a deficit, you may be overeating on your carbs, because carbs do sometimes not give you the satiety that you need, because they're faster type fuel sources. All right, carbs burn off very quickly, whereas protein burns off slightly slower. It gives you, but also protein as well increases your TEF, thermic effect of feeding. So we know that when you eat more protein, the body has to work harder to burn off more calories. Therefore, it's important that you do have a high amount of protein per day, and you go a bit higher if you feel like you are not losing the fat that you want. Advanced method 2 is to go further into a deficit. At the beginning, I mentioned that a 500 calorie deficit is about normal, and that's where most people would start, including myself. If you start to stop losing fat, you can pull the calories even lower. So you was eating 2,500 calories for the first 3 weeks. Now you could pull that back to, let's say, 2,200 calories, therefore putting you in about an 800 calorie deficit from your maintenance calories. Now there is a more aggressive way to put yourself into a bigger deficit. This generally yields good results. You can also increase your cardio as well and your training volume as a whole. So if you're training 3 days a week, you can up that to 4 days a week. So there is a training side of things that we can manipulate as well, not just the dietary side of things. You can train a bit more, you can train a bit harder and do a bit more cardio. So I'd look at that as well before you just drive your calories too low. But like I said, if you have increased your cardio and your training volume and you can't really go anywhere else with that, you can go further into a deficit. I find that works pretty well. So what you would generally do with those advanced methods is keep working hard till the 12 weeks. By now, once you've thrown in a couple of advanced methods, you're further into a deficit, your training volume's consistent, you will most likely see great results and start losing fat. Your stomach should now start to get much flatter. You should start to see changes to your clothes, body shape, etc., and you should start to feel all around slimmer and leaner. There you have it. There's the 12-week body transformation. I hope you found this show helpful. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop a message in the comment section, and I wish you all the best of luck with your body transformation. I hope it all works out for you, and I look forward to presenting my next show to you. Have a great day. Bye for now.